gentlemen, the following presentation is brought to you by Mr. Main Event Brian Waters and the real Dwayne Alley. The Wrestling Wrealm, the show for the intelligent wrestling fans. Off the top rope, I dwell in the wrestling realm. Like Jake stay in the snake pit and Kane be in hell. Like Jake to stay in the graveyard, I'm punk in the shy. Call me Snooker cause I'm super and fly. You can hate all you want, but I'm flossing. The Miz said I'm awesome, and I'm upholding the law just like the big boss man. With Mr. Main Event Brian Waters, the real Dwayne Allen. Toss you over the border like Hernandez, Mandez, pressing the stands. It's the show for the intelligent wrestling fans. Hitman like Hawk, but I'm not from Calgary. I'm all about the bill, so let that gold shower me, empower me like Farouk and the nation. If you don't know your history, then you should change the station. But if you do, you can cruise to YouTube / the wrestling realm. Your lessons are stale. Say the same old lines, man, you destined to fail. Like the Shockmaster or the wrestler Nails. I'm a heartbreak kid, and my bid to be champion is unmatched. Anybody step, I'm face planting them. With Mr. Main Event and the real Dwayne, you the sisters of love, we the powers of pain. You see we coming with a spear while you're monkey flipping. It's Brian Waters, Dwayne Allen, and your boy Trenton. And that's just how the story goes. That's just how the story goes. It's the wrestling realm, baby. The Wrestling Wrealm. Mr. Main Event Brian Waters, the real Dwayne Allen. And I'm your boy Trent CMG. You know what it is, baby. Let's go.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this special indie segment of the Wrestling Realm. I am joined by the one and only, our indie specialist, Brandon Guy. And you know me, Mr. Main Event Brian Waters. But before we get into our indie segment, Mr. Guy, you said you had to have something to say, something to get off your chest.
Well, I see a lot of buzz, and I don't mean any harm at this point. If you get offended, grow up. Because we're all wrestling fans, and if anybody gets offended, you can find me on Facebook. I post on the Wrestling Realm. Sometimes I take a break from the Wrestling Realm because people don't seem to get it. Like, we're all fans. What you say is what you say, but don't pass your statements off as facts. Now, what I'm going to say is not a fact. It's just I want to put your mind frame in this perspective. I want to have you see things in a different light. When it comes to the titles in any wrestling organization, let's talk about the WWE. The WWE does not need any more titles whatsoever. If you think about it, you have the WWE Championship, the World Champion, the U.S. Champion, the Intercontinental, the Women's Champion / Divas Champion, and the tag team titles. That's all that you need. It's been so much buzz about, we need the Cruiserweight title, we need the European, we need the Hardcore. Vince McMahon is not going back from PG-13. He's making too much money with PG-13, be a star, all his partnerships. You think he will push all that? Yeah, you think he's going to push all that down the drain just to please a few people by having some blood on TV? I think not. Do you think he's going to push all that momentum that he's trying to make it a family-oriented show and enjoyable for everybody just to bring back a Hardcore title? Give it up. Secondly, there is no need for a Cruiserweight title. Because what you do need, and this is just my saying, because if you think about a company that started back in 2002, they only had an X Division, World title, and a Tag Team title, and that was it. And that X Division title was probably more dominant or more prominent, or it actually helped stamp a lot of wrestlers' career because of that X Division title run. And I say that to say, the more titles that you have, because look at them now. TNA not only has the World title, they have the Global / TV / Legends Champion, whatever you want to call it. It's a red belt.
Well, I know they got the TV title.
Yeah, it's a TV, but I'm going to say that because it's changed names since it came into existence. So they have the World title and the red belt. Then you have the X Division. Then you have the Tag Team. Then you have the Knockouts. Then you have the Knockout Tag Teams. You have 7 belts. When is the last time you've seen the Knockouts Tag Team Champion? When is the last?
Who are the tag team?
Exactly. The last it was a male and a female that are the tag team champions. But that's my point. When you have so many titles in a 2-hour segment, or even in a month time, if you figure it's 2 hours every week and 4 weeks out of a year, 4 weeks within a month, how many chances do you have of seeing these champions? So, would you really please the fans to make a Cruiserweight title so that way, one, People like Justin Gabriel still won't be seen. People like Yoshitatsu still won't be seen. People like, I'm sorry, Tyson Kidd. Like, you know exactly who I was talking about. Still won't be seen. You know, what's going to happen to them then? Now that you're going to have another champion that's going to need TV time, or maybe he'll just be the superstar, NXT star. You know, it'll be the European champion on Superstars. Won't ever make it to SmackDown or Raw because there's going to be too much stuff going on. Because you have to realize, in the dynamic of a wrestling show, you have to have time for promos. You have to have time for, oh, let's review what happened this Monday on Raw. Let's see what happened on SmackDown. Let's recap the pay-per-view. So you have precious TV time that's being utilized, not necessarily wasted, but you really think it's hard enough to get the the U.S. champion and the Intercontinental champion on TV right now. And you want to add another champion? You want to add another champion?
So what do you think about the WWE going to Ion? You know, they're going to Ion soon in August, and then they'll have another TV show. Do you think adding another title, let's just say the Internet Championship, let's say they take that seriously? Because when the Hardcore title came out, it was initially a gift
for Mick
Foley.
And it was a smashed up world title.
Exactly. Or the Winged Eagle at that. So let's just say Zack Ryder, because some people say the gimmick needs to go, some people say it doesn't. We know Z-True Long Island story has lost its steam. Let's say the WWE wants to bring more prominence to the internet viewers, their YouTube channel. Let's say they bring an Internet Championship, which would be today's television championship. Do you think that could help? Do you think maybe having a Cruiserweight segment on the Ion would make it relevant to have a Cruiserweight Championship? Or you think it's not needed to establish those superstars?
Well, it's not needed because think about the Intercontinental and the U.S. champion. They were both titles that are basically the stepping stones to a world championship or a WWE championship, or the reverse. Once I've been world champion or once I've been WWE champion, now I'll go back to the U.S. title and I hold that, i.e. Chris Jericho, Sheamus, people like Sting, Ric Flair, Goldberg even held these belts after, I'm sorry, not Goldberg, I'll take that back because Goldberg held the U.S. title and then became world champion. People like Booker T, who has held both of them, that was former world champions and still made it relevant and it was still okay. Bringing another title is just going to make it seem like, now what do I do with these guys? Okay, so Tyson Kidd with the title, are we going to see more of them? Tyson Kidd with an Intercontinental champion, that means more competition. Now that's somebody else in that division fighting for that title. Remember back when it was Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, Johnny Nitro, Chris Masters, Carlito, and somebody else having a six-way battle on Raw for that title. And over the next 6 months, all you saw was those guys. I can't remember the sixth one right now. If anybody remembers, please let me know because I'm drawing a blank. But for over the next 6 months, that Intercontinental title changed between all of those guys. Did Chris Masters have it? No, but he was a contender. Carlito had the Intercontinental title? No, I think he was only U.S. champion. But it still gave these guys a chance to compete for them, and you actually saw them on TV. And Randy Orton, it kept going between Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, Johnny Nitro. You know, it just kept circulating between them. Even when Santino won the Intercontinental title, it was him, Umaga, Jeff Hardy. Them three just keep cycling through it. Johnny Nitro in the mix again. Just keep cycling through it, and it makes the title relevant. Adding another one, do you see them really having TV? Because remember, a third show, like a ECW, you have one champion. Sometimes you didn't even see the ECW champion every single show.
Right. So do you think that so basically, are you saying that if they do add a Cruiserweight Championship, all it is really serving is a glass ceiling, and that's saying that your Cruiserweight is only going to get right here, and he's not going to go into IC status and eventually become a WWE Champion? Or I guess it also say, add a second part to this question, do you think because of the fact they're going with smaller guys, your CM Punks, your Daniel Bryans, your Chris Jerichos, as world champions, that there's no need for a Cruiserweight Championship?
A little of both, because if you think about some of the past Cruiserweight champions, like Shane Helms. Yeah. Shane Helms, he could have been, in today's wrestling in WWE, he could have been the world champion. Him and Daniel Bryan, about the same size.
Shane Helms, not Hurricane.
Yeah, heel Shane Helms. When he was the Cruiserweight champion with the vest on coming out there and was the longest reigning Cruiserweight champion, I think, at one point, wasn't he?
I believe so.
But what I'm saying is, look what the Cruiserweight title did for Rey Mysterio's career. Wow, Rey, you and Matt Hardy really fighting for the Cruiserweight title, and the whole storyline was Matt Hardy trying to get to the weight class. You know, all I remember is him being the Daredevil coming to WrestleMania with the Cruiserweight belt. So I was just like, okay, whoopie-doo, not a big deal.
Yeah, you liked it? I liked it.
I like Rey Mysterio, I really do. I just didn't like him as Cruiserweight because...
I'm a huge Matt Hardy fan.
And I like Matt Hardy too, which, by the way, Cheap Pop, we can see him this Saturday at MCW's Shamrock Cup. So, next thing, what I'm saying is...
I can't wait, because your boys, Ruckus and Derek Frazier, will be participating.
The 2006 and 2008 Shane Shamrock Cup winner. If you've never seen the Shane Shamrock Cup tournament, I would urge any wrestling fans in Maryland to check it out. It is definitely worth it. The tournament is great. I know one year they had a 2-day tournament, and it was awesome. And every year I've seen the Shamrock Cup, it has been outstanding.
First time I went, it was Ruckus winning. Guess the second time I went, I believe it was Josh Daniels winning, and Chris Jericho was there.
Yep.
This year, Matt Hardy, baby, which will be coming to the Wrestling Realm, also to the Wrestling Marks of Excellence. Make sure you catch that interview. Shouts out to Dr. D and the firm.
Right. So, sorry, sidetrack. And I think, personally, and this is just my personal opinion.
Well, look, you gotta tell people that, because if they not smart enough, this is the show for the intelligent fans. So they should know, first of all, we do not pass anything off as a fact. So when we do say something, it is our personal opinion. Unless we say on this date, time, then it's a fact. But unless we say that, it is our personal opinion. So if you're intelligent, continue to watch. You understand it.
And I think with killing the Intercontinental U.S. Champion, there are no more contenders match for it. It's always like a tournament or a battle royale. And it's like, oh, that's how you become the number one contender. Remember back in the day on the pay-per-view, you would have a number one contenders match for the Intercontinental or for the world title, WWE Championship, whatever. You used to have number one contenders match, and being a number one contender was like almost as good as being a champion.
Right.
Because you saw guys having outstanding matches to become the number one contenders.